Welcome in and good morning. Thank you so much for joining us today for the overview of the RMA certification. We are the Investments and Wealth Institute. We'll get started here in just a moment. We want everyone to have a second to join us and join the call. We do have a chat feature if you'd like to let us know where you're joining us from. See a few answers coming in. We have Wisconsin. We have Colorado. We are based here in Denver, Colorado, in the Denver Tech Center. All righty, we have Florida. We have a few people coming from around the country. Awesome. Well, we'll go ahead and get started. My name is Tyler Cook. I'm one of the two enrollment counselors here with the Investments and Wealth Institute. Our job here is to help assist you with any questions you might have regarding applications, programs, or anything that has to do with the Investments and Wealth Institute. We're happy to facilitate any applications you might have, be it the RMA or our other offerings. Now, today we are focusing on the RMA. We'll go over the program, a little bit of the curriculum and the education pathways, and then we'll learn how you actually become credentialed. We'll learn a bit about the process of applying for credentialing, and then we're going to hear from our special guest, Miss Marsha Mantell. Now, for those who are unfamiliar, we are the Investments and Wealth Institute. Kayla, tell us a little bit about the organization for those who are unaware.
Yeah, thanks, Tyler. So through our certifications, conferences, online education courses, and memberships, we deliver premier investment consulting, wealth management, and retirement education to both individuals and firms. The Institute is dedicating to serving the educational needs of advanced investment and wealth professionals around the world. We pride ourselves on being the premier place financial advisors, wealth managers, and investment consultants turn to for their higher and premier educational needs. We are a trade association, education provider, a standards body for financial advisors. We host in-person conferences. Next month, we will be in Fort Lauderdale for our Experience 2026 Spring, and then in November, we will be in Scottsdale. We put on monthly online webinars. We offer the CIMA, CPWA, and RMA certification programs. There are 3 educational options. We partner with Yale School of Management and the University of Chicago Booth School of Business. We also provide premier education online courses through the Institute's Academy. What some people might not realize is that as an association, we work with top leaders in the profession to develop the educational programs to bring Ivy League quality, real world, practical solutions to the forefront so that advisors can implement strategies and changes immediately in their practice. We're truly a community of advisors by advisors. Now let's take a look at our makeup. So here's a breakdown of the different advisor channels that make up the Institute's members. As you can see, 48% of RMA holders' clients are high net worth, and the average AUM is 501 million for RMAs. Tyler, can you tell us a little bit more about the RMA and why someone would choose it?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Kayla. Now, the RMA or the Retirement Management Advisor certification is designed for advisors who want to manage retirement income with greater precision and confidence. The program will focus on retirement security, income solutions, and decumulation, providing a structured, process-driven approach to addressing the complexities of retirement income planning. Now, as Kayla mentioned, we do have 3 certifications that we offer here at the Investments and Wealth Institute. Our CIMA, focusing on portfolios and investments. Our CPWA, focusing on high net worth and ultra high net worth efficiencies and strategy. But we're here focusing on the RMA, a program which is going to be tailored to advisors who are working with clients who are currently retired who are approaching retirement age. Now, a quick poll for those who are in attendance. How many years, and we'll pop this up on the screen, have you been working with affluent or high net worth clients on their retirement needs?
The answers are coming in.
There we are. Perfect. And it looks like on average about 6 years or more. And those who are just now starting to work with retirees, which is fantastic. The RMA focuses heavily on all areas of becoming prepared for retirement or continuation within your, decumulation phase. Thank you, everyone, for answering. Now, it's no surprise that RMA professionals report higher earnings. We've done studies with CEG Worldwide and CEG Insight to show that RMA professionals earn more, have more trusted client relationships than those who are not certified. And we also found that 48% of RMAs are currently working with high net worth clients of $5 million plus. So it comes as no surprise that the RMA has such a high certification satisfaction score. Now, let's talk a little bit about what we're going to learn in the RMA. Now, Miss Marcia will go through the program a little bit more in depth, but at a high level, the program will focus on three main areas. As you can see, we'll start with the retirement opportunity, looking at the retirement mindset, behavior, becoming a realistic framework for beginning our process for retirement management. We'll then look at the client, focusing on discovery and analysis, assessing risk and retirement readiness. We'll then move and transition into technical design, looking at key portfolio allocations and retirement decisions, different implementation strategies, and then we'll focus on life in transition. We'll finalize then with retirement policy statements. Now, before we get into the education providers, one more poll for you. What's your top professional goal in the next 12 months? Perfect. And deep in my retirement expertise seems to be the majority here, building book of business. Perfect. Well, you've all come to the right place. Retirement management expertise is exactly the type of education that the RMA will provide. Now, Kayla, talk to us a little bit about how we earn the designation. What are our education options?
Yeah, so we are currently enrolling for our upcoming Chicago Booth RMA class. The enrollment deadline is July 15th, and the class will run from July through October with the mandatory in-person dates of October 21st and the 22nd. The exam will be taken on site the afternoon of the 22nd, and we also offer an in-house fully virtual RMA option. Future dates have not yet been announced. Now, how do you become certified? The steps to success. So first, you're going to apply online through the Investments and Wealth dashboard. Two, you're going to complete your studies, which consist of 8 modules of on-demand readings, recorded lectures, quizzes, and case studies. 3, you're going to attend the in-person capstone at Chicago Booth on October 21st through the 22nd. And 4, you're going to sit and pass the exam on site the afternoon of the 22nd. The exam is made up of 100 multiple choice questions, and you have 3 hours to complete. Tyler, I think it's time for another poll.
I love it. Now, chat with us a little bit for those in attendance. What's your biggest challenge when developing retirement income plans for clients? Managing client expectations and behavior, building sustainable withdrawal strategies. Yeah, everyone seems to be in the same place. Perfect. Perfect. Thank you, everybody, for responding. To go a little bit deeper into how the RMA might approach some of these large challenges, we want to introduce Miss Marcia Mantell. She is the owner of Mantell Retirement Consulting, Inc. She's a retirement maven, building expertise for 34 years. She's an author of 5 retirement books, including Social Security, Lightly Toasted, Not Burnt, and Creating Your Medicare Recipe. She's an advisor to the advisors, helping push forward the industry. And she is an RMA commission chair and has been RMA certified since 2010. Marcia, please take it away.
Thanks so much, Tyler. Hi, Kayla. Thank you all for asking me to come and talk a little bit about the RMA. Now, I was in the first RMA class back in 2010, before the Institute held the designation, and it has evolved and changed and improved so much in the last 15, 16 years. It's exciting to see the progress, and mainly because people are getting older and need more information, and the world is much more complicated and much more complicated to retire today than it was 25, 30 years ago. Plus, we have the demographics on our side. All of us boomers are getting older faster, and we really need good advice. Tyler, yesterday, and Kayla, when we chatted a little bit, we talked about could I address a particular question? And I'd like to kind of take this head on. And that is, I know a lot of you work with clients who are getting to the point of retirement, or maybe some are already retired. And why do you need an RMA then? If you're already working with older clients and you're running a successful book of business. Well, I'm going to be a little snarky here for a moment, so just humor me. No insults intended, but the bottom line is you're not doing retirement income planning by and large. You are doing really good work on the investment side of what a client's household needs are, but you are not approaching retirement income and the retirement 30 years that these clients are going to live in, this whole new part of the journey with the expertise that you really need. And this is whether you have a CFP or you have a different designation, a CPWA even. The retirement lane is really quite different. And I wanted to make sure that I captured some of the reasons that it is different. And I do work with individual clients as well, building 30-year retirement income plans with them. And I'll tell you, the conversations are nothing like they are on the investment side. Um, it's a comprehensive plan that you're building for the next 30 years. And what's really different is, the focus has been really for all of us has been on getting to a known goal, right? You want to send your kids to college, so let's do the college savings. Or somebody wants a second home or a first home. You try to build up, with using investment strategies to help them meet their goal. Or they just want to know that they can quit their job at a certain age, 60, 65, whatever. And so we have a known end point, and we're really good at making sure the investments get them to that goal. But now, as we're transitioning into this retirement era, the whole focus changes to creating known, reliable, sustainable income from whatever available sources somebody has, individual clients have, but for an unknown period of time. And that's the game changer, that we don't know when our last day on the planet will be. We can't even reasonably guess, to be honest with you. So the RMA addresses that head on by putting together a structure and a framework that we can use and repeat and modify and keep up with over the decades. We're talking about another 3 to 4 decades. You're going to work with these clients, and you really need the expertise because they need you to need the expertise in all these areas. And it's about connecting all the dots that we've never needed to worry about before. Tyler, I was intrigued with the poll question that you asked about Social Security and Medicare and sustainability or sequence of withdrawals and whatnot, sequence of risk. And I'm surprised more of you didn't say that your number one challenge was Medicare and Social Security. And that tells me a lot. That tells me that either you are an expert in Social Security and Medicare, and that's great if you are. But what I tend to find from advisors, and I hear from a lot of you, that you don't actually have any expertise in these areas, and you didn't know you needed to connect the dots, and you didn't know that when a client claims Social Security, that has an implication on Medicare, maybe retroactively, maybe not all the parts, but some of the parts, and it might blow up their HSA plans. So it's those kinds of pieces that we get into in the RMA, not only in the curriculum and the education side of it, but also ongoing, where we have a really strong community. And I think that's important to point out as well, that the RMAs who are part of the Institute, we all know each other. We can call each other, get expertise on a problem, have discussions. We have a geek table at the conferences so that we can all get together, and we really kind of talk retirement stuff nonstop. Never once do we cover investments. That's the difference. It's all the other stuff and then the investments. So Tyler, let me stop there and see what other questions you'd like to have me chat about.
Yeah, absolutely. We would love for you to dive a little deeper just on some of these points with the curriculum, if you don't mind, just giving us a little taste of what we can expect to learn in some of the modules.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that. What is important for you to know is you're really moving in as the financial and retirement expert. You're moving into new territory with every one of your clients. And it is a complete shift in the relationship with the clients. So, this not only the opportunity that's there, because of the demographics, just more and more of us are getting older, more and more of us are losing our jobs when we didn't expect to, at 58 or 60. Um, and so that's a key piece of the curriculum. But this middle column, the retirement client, we spend a lot of time unpacking the pieces of what it means to now move from a complete shift from exclusively on investments and known goals to creating a partnership now with your clients in a very different way. The RMA process, the process of creating a retirement income plan, largely depends on not only what the client wants to do over the next 30 years, and by the way, they have no idea, um, but it also is about how much they spend, where they are financially in the household, and what other obligations they're going to have throughout their older age. So we dive into those kinds of conversations and giving you the framework again that you need to have those conversations and confidently bring them up proactively. Most clients don't sit around and, say, oh, hey, I'm going to meet with my advisor tomorrow. I think I'm going to ask them about what it's like to age and what I need to be planning for in my whole aging process or living alone. If you're not already talking about aging and death, you're missing a really big conversation that you need to have. And it's uncomfortable at first. I found ways to make these conversations work. It takes a little bit of time to get comfortable talking about. My husband is Dan. I always kill Dan off in my examples and in my trainings because it's hard to look across the table at this lovely couple and know that one of them is going to die before the other. But by gosh, if you're not talking about that and setting the reality, not only from what do I want to say, from a unfortunate emotional side, you don't spend too much time there after the shock has worn off, but it is about all the tax consequences of being a single filer, the IRMA implications of being a single person again, of this transition, the tax obligations, the tax surprises, and making sure you're preparing clients not only for generating cash flow throughout 30 years and dealing with all of the IRS rules and all of the tax rules that come along with the different types of accounts someone has, but now it's about what happens when you're going from two to one. Or if you have a single person who's getting married, well, were they divorced? Were they widowed? It makes a difference in the strategies for Social Security. So that's what we do in this retirement client and in the technical design piece. We do look at the portfolio, retirement portfolio allocation and the key retirement planning decisions that need to be made and how to do it. Clients are really tripped up on the how-tos. So part of being an RMA is you learn a lot more about the nitty-gritty of how to properly claim Social Security, like what's the actual process, or why do you sign up for Medicare on Social Security's website? That doesn't seem intuitive. So we really get into the nuts and bolts and spend some time arming you with really good resources and current information. This world is changing all the time. So, this whole life and transition, that's what I'm talking about. Death, disability, and aging. Not usually topics we need to worry about when we're trying to put our kids through college. So that's part of the structure, Tyler, that we get into and prepare you to better address the real issues that real clients are facing, even though they might not talking to be talking to you about it.
I really appreciate you diving deep there, Marcia. And I think it's fair to say there's quite a lot when it comes to retirement planning and a lot of key decisions that need to be made that a professional such as yourself who've gone through the program can likely attest. The RMA prepares you to do these things.
Yes, it definitely does. And I also want to note too, Tyler, I think that's one thing that's important, depending for the advisor, whatever the corporate structure you're under, whether you're a broker in a broker dealer or an RIA or you're out on your own, when you move and shift your focus to the income, retirement income, cash flow, and household balance sheet side of life, um, you also end up possibly getting new revenue streams. And what I mean by that is to date, mostly advisors get paid on AUM or commission based products or a combination of the two. But doing the RMA gives you the opportunity to talk to your firm, if you're in a firm, about creating a new revenue source. And it is the planning, a fee for planning and or fee for doing Medicare analysis and Social Security analysis. There are new income streams for you, revenue streams for the advisor that may be a possibility that you can explore with whatever the parameters of your firm are.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, Marcia, thank you so much for joining us today and going over the program and sharing a bit of your experience. Any last thoughts before we wrap up today?
I think the most important things to just recap on, the network is incredibly important. And building that network, you're going to run into all kinds of crazy things. Clients who call and say, oh my gosh, I'm in a Medicare Advantage plan and it's going to cost me $109,000 to have a procedure. How do you deal with that? That was a call I got last week.
Wow.
That's what RMAs do. We're prepared and educated and knowledgeable about all the other stuff that all surrounds the investment piece. So that's what I'd end with.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Marcia. We greatly appreciate it. As we wrap up today, just to mention again, Kayla and I are here and are available to answer any questions you might have, any one-on-one conversations you'd like to have, go over some opportunities for payment options. Please let us know if you have any questions. We'll go ahead and end today. Thank you so much again for joining us for the introduction to the RMA program. Have a great day. Thank you so much.